Hello, everyone, and welcome back for some more Drag Race gossip, secrets, and drama. So, I'm back for another Have Your Say series.
Oh, God help us.
And this video is for RuPaul's Drag Race UK Season 7, Episode 1. So, today we're going to be recapping the episode, going through the results of the Have Your Say poll, where you at home get to vote on whether you agree with the outcome of this week's episode. And I'll be talking about a little bit of recent drama to do with Shea Coulee calling out Plain Jane, an update to do with Lexi Love's ongoing legal battle to do with her name, and Pixie Polite responds to what Tayris Mongardi said about her in this week's episode. All that and more coming up in today's video, so let's get started. Also, if you like these videos and you want to see more of them, because of course, why would you not?
Delusion.
Please make sure you smash that subscribe button because it really does make a huge difference to my channel. Thank you! Hello everyone, this is Matt in the editing room. Just to say that this video ended up being a lot longer than I intended, so I've had to cut out several parts, including the workroom entrance looks. But I will be posting the full uncut version of this video on my Patreon, so go and check that out if you want to, and I'll link to that in the description. But otherwise, this is just a slightly shorter version. Hope you enjoy! Okay, so moving on to, I guess, one of the main challenges for this week, which was the Brit Gala pink carpet, which is basically where the queens have to go onto these imaginary stairs and they have to stand there, model, but also then do an interview with an alum of Drag Race. I will say from the start, I do like that Drag Race was doing something a bit different with this challenge, but I don't think this challenge was really very good in general. It was just a bit weird, a bit awkward. I don't know if it was maybe just this cast didn't quite vibe with it, or whether the VIQs, as they called them, the alums, whether maybe they just didn't vibe, but there was something a little bit off. I don't think anyone particularly came off great in this, but let's go through them and we'll talk about it. So I'll go through them in order in which they appeared, and first up we had Chai Grande. I thought this look was okay. I did quite like this big decoration piece at the front of the outfit on the chest, but I'm not sure about the dress itself. I'm not sure it was the most flattering, and the three colors were cool, but I don't know, there was just something I don't think was quite as elevated about it. But I think she volleyed kind of a little bit with Marina, and it is a very awkward thing, so I think none of them did the most amazing job, but I think she held her own a little bit. So I think I would give it a just okay overall, because I thought the look was okay, but she came across quite sweet. And in terms of the Have Your Say poll, I asked you to vote for the outfit and the personality in one, and you voted for Chai Grande, almost 55% for just okay, 24.8% for nay, and then 20.4% for yay. After that, we had Sally TM. This was very much in her style of being very quirky and very weird. I did enjoy it though, and it made it stand out to me because no one else did this full body, almost like morph suit. Kind of reminds me a bit of when they did the face keenies and RuPaul had that weird face keenie on. But I think it looked good. I mean, I quite liked the joke that Bagger made, was like, oh, I love your makeup. That was good. Sally was probably one of the only ones who said something that did make me laugh a little bit when she said, oh, I have my wisdom teeth out, but I'm afraid to wear them as a necklace because they're very yellow. Like, it's just so bizarre. But RuPaul loves bizarre humor. So I think, although I don't think it was amazing, it was probably one of the better of the bunch, so I will give this a yay. And it looks like you agreed because you gave 52.2% for yay, 32.7% for just okay, and then 15% for nay. After that, we had Katrin Feelings. I love Katrin so much. I'm just obsessed with everything she says because she's so Welsh and it's so endearing and so fun when she speaks. She also just seems like a genuinely nice person who's having a really good time. The look itself, I'm not sure was my favorite. As Plain Jane said, it did kind of look, or someone said it looked a bit like a sleeping bag, but I'm not talking like Utica sleeping bag in the design challenge. I'm talking like the sleeping bag that you take when you go hiking or something. I really liked her personality and thought she was fun. I do speak German, and the bit where she spoke German, I will say I was also confused, a bit like Tessa, but it was fun and I'm glad she did something different. I think overall I will give her a just okay though, because I don't think the look was as strong as it could have been. In terms of the Have Your Say poll, you were very split between just okay and yay. They were quite reasonably close. So you've got just okay with 41.6% and then yay with 34.5%. And then nay still got a decent portion, which was almost 24%. After that, we had Select's Addiction. I really enjoyed this look. She probably had one of the most sort of big, large and in charge, chunky yet funky. Well, not chunky but funky, but very spiky and prikey. Anyway, she had a very nice look and it kind of gave me sort of coral reef but white. Really elegant, really elevated. So I loved the look. I also thought in terms of her personality, she told a slightly funny story, but I don't think anyone got it because they didn't know what follow through means, which basically means when you like shat yourself.
Oh, Jesus. Gross.
So only Bag of Chips, I think, got it because she's British, and I assume Alan got it because he's British. But I don't think the others got it, so it kind of felt a little bit flat. But I think she did an okay job. As I said, I think the general level of this challenge was not great. So I think I'll give her a yay in this particular challenge because I think she did better than a lot of others. And I did really like the look. In terms of the Have Your Say poll, you voted 48.7% for yay, 31.9%, let's call it 32% for just okay, and then almost 20% for nay. After that, we had Tayris Mongardi. I really enjoyed Tayris's look. I thought the hair was amazing. I really loved this outfit. That color is gorgeous and that material almost like a bit velvet, satiny, crushed velvet or something. I think that actually looked really nice. Plain Jane did say they looked a bit like those pillows that you have on an aeroplane, which is kind of true, but a very glamorous pillow at that. In terms of the actual personality side of it and the interaction, I do think Plain Jane was maybe the hardest of the alums in terms of she was definitely maybe being very shady to the point that it was quite difficult for the queens to interact with her, but that is Plain Jane's shtick, I guess. But I do think that Tayris, it was very awkward because they kept talking over each other. I don't think she was quite vibing with Plain at all, which she said she knew it. So I will unfortunately have to give this a nay just because it was one of the ones that was probably the most awkward, but I think the look was good. In terms of the Have Your Say poll, you, I think, agreed and you said 46.9% for nay, so the vast majority, 34.5% for just okay, and then 18.6% for yay. After that, we had pasty. I enjoyed the concept for this look being, I guess, like a shower curtain with the blood. I just didn't, as the judges said, it was a little bit messy looking. It was sort of going everywhere, and her hair maybe I don't think was quite the right match for it either. So I wasn't a huge fan of the actual look itself. In terms of the actual interview, I could guess that it's a hard thing because if they didn't know what they were going to be asking like, tell me one interesting thing about yourself. She did talk about her condition with her sight, and it was, I guess, interesting, but it kind of felt a little bit flat because there was no joke in there. I feel like sometimes you've just got to, even if you have to make something up, as long as you get a laugh, we all know that's what the challenge is. So I think that part also just felt a little bit flat. So unfortunately, although I really like Pasty, I would have to give her a nay. In terms of the Have Your Say poll, I think you all sort of agreed with me a little bit because you gave 45.1% for nay, which was the majority just about, but then 39.8% for just okay, so still a decent portion, and then 15% for yay. After that, we had Bonnie and Clyde. I also did not get at the beginning that this was Dalmatian dog. I really thought this was cow. Although looking back on it again, I suppose cows don't usually quite have as many black like patches on them as much, but it definitely was giving more cow than dog. But once I knew that it was a dog, I was like, actually, it is very Cruella de Vil, very sophisticated. I think it was a very elevated look and it was very spiky and I really liked that. So the look itself was good. And I think she was definitely trying, and she made the joke about, you know, I'm a dog, but I really am a bitch, or, you know, whatever it was. So I think I would give her a yay overall because she did come across well in a challenge that not many other people came across well in. Looks like you agreed as well because you said 48.7% for yay, 39.8% for just okay, and then 11.5% for nay. After that, we had page 3. I loved this look. We've definitely seen this sort of thing before of like ties and rags, and that's happened a lot on Drag Race, but it was a very editorial look. It did look really good on her, and I really liked that it was something a bit different. So that was good. I also thought, although we didn't see very much from her, it was so short, what she did say was funny, and she did get a laugh from from Rue. So I think overall I would give her a yay. And it looks like you definitely agreed because you gave pretty much 70% for yay, so the vast majority, 19.5 for just okay, and then only 10.6 for nay. After that, we had Nye on Bella. I knew as soon as I saw this look that Michelle was going to be somewhere rocking herself in a dark corner going like, Marie Antoinette, Marie Antoinette. It's a pretty look, but unfortunately it has been done so many times. It's not Marie Antoinette, I will say. It was more, I think, Rococo, which is sort of like the general style from that era. So I do think saying it's Marie Antoinette when it's not really, but it is that general style which we've seen a lot. But she looked really cute and the details were right and everything. So for the look itself, I thought it was fine, but maybe something we've seen a lot before. In terms of the actual interview itself, I do think she meandered a little bit with her story, and it was only really when she started playing the nose flute that I thought was actually her real personality came through, and she was very sweet and fun. But up until then, it was a little bit stilted, so I think overall I would have to give it a just okay. And it looks like you were very split between just okay and nay, because just okay came out on top with 39.8%, and then not that far behind with 35.4 was nay, and then yay got 24.8%. Next up we had Viola. I thought the look was nice. It's very polished, and it definitely showed something a little bit different to her first look in terms of the color. I don't think it was the most imaginative, but it was definitely nice. I will say for the actual interview itself, I feel like she's one of those queens. She's obviously very cerebral and very intelligent, but sometimes that can be a bit too much. And I think the story kind of fell flat a little bit because I think she was trying to go too much into detail rather than going on the more stupid, funny route, which we know is what RuPaul is looking for. So I think she was a little bit too clever for her own good. So I think in general, I'll give it a just okay. In the Have Your Say poll, you voted 48.7% for just okay, 32.7% for yay, and then 18.6% for nay. After that, we had Bones. This look is amazing. I did not get that it was a penis at first because it was more zoomed in, but when they zoomed out, I was like, oh, okay, I see. She's the head of, Anyway, but the look is so good. I think the knives and everything, the color, it was just amazing. That is really a high level. That looks like a production level outfit at a show or a movie would have that level of costumery. In terms of the actual interaction though, it felt very flat to me. I was a little bit surprised. I thought she would maybe be able to volley a bit more because she kind of just gave her answer and there was sort of nothing to it. It was just very much like, here's the answer and that was it. So that side of it did fall flat for me a bit. So I think overall, although the look was one of my favorites, I think I'd have to give it a just okay because the actual interview was just nothing to it really, which I was surprised at. So yeah, just okay. Interestingly, you voted majority yay with 56.6%, which I would agree with if I was talking just about the look. But then you did give 29.2% for just okay, which is still, actually almost a third. And then 14.2% for nay. And then finally, we had Elle Vosk. I thought the look was very fun. At first, I didn't really get it, and I thought it looked a bit messy almost because I think the pink at the bottom blended into the pink carpet a little bit too much and everything. But after a while, I was like, actually, you know what? It is something a little bit different. And I think it did work with the way she presented it. I also thought her interview was probably one of the funnier ones because she had Plain Jane, who, as we said earlier, was probably one of the harder ones to interact with because she was definitely being quite shady and everything. But I would say Elle held her own the most out of everyone, and she did get a laugh. So I would give her a just okay maybe for the outfit, but definitely a yay, probably overall because she was probably the funniest. And it looks like you agreed because you said 47.8% for yay, 32% for just okay, and then 19.5% for nay. Okay, so finally, we got on to the final part, which is the actual runway. So this is Queen of Your Hometown runway looks, and we're going to go in order in which they appeared. So first up, we had Bones representing the Peak District. I very much enjoyed this look. It was definitely giving hiking, walking outfit, but elevated and fashion, which is very much because the Peak District is a national park with lots of, mountains and hills and things. The look was great as she's always on point. The makeup and the outfits, definitely a very high level. I think that's something we're going to expect from Bones going forward because she always brings it. So For this, I would definitely give it a yay. And you definitely agree because you said 49.6% for yay, 10.6 for nay, which I was a little bit confused by, and then 9.7 for just okay. After that, we had Catherine Feelings representing Rhonda Valley. I did enjoy this look, and I liked that it was sort of a play on a traditional Welsh outfit. I think she presented it well and she was fun. Maybe is it as elevated as some of the others we've seen on Drag Race of this style before? No, but I think it was really nice, and I liked that she was bringing part of her heritage and her hometown to it. So I actually would give it a yay because I have a huge soft spot for Catherine Feelings. Maybe I am catching feelings for Catherine Feelings. In the Have Your Say poll, you voted 46% for just okay. Then you voted 28.3% for yay, but then 25.7% for nay, which is over a quarter. After that, we had Nyan Bella representing London. At first, I thought the look was kind of cool, but I feel like when you actually look at the details a bit more, this was just maybe a teeny bit simple. She said obviously she was doing Big Ben, so that's why she had the clock and the little clocks down there. But in general, I feel like the clock is not big enough. Story of my life. And I just feel like it really needs to be sort of grander, bigger. It just always, maybe it's just a little bit not impressive enough for a runway look. If this was a performance outfit, it'd be fine, but just not for the main stage. But it still looked good, so I think I will give it a just okay, but just okay towards the nay side. It looks like you were a bit harsher than I was because you said 76.1% for nay, which is over 3/4, 18.6 for just okay, and then 5.3 for nay. After that was page 3 representing Surrey Hills. I was very much not sure about this outfit. I think it looks nice. It's quite simple in the sense that it is just effectively a sort of bodysuit and bikini with a print on it. I don't know. I feel like it's an imaginative way because what are you going to do with Surrey Hills? Like, it is quite random. So I feel like it was a good way to incorporate it. I'm not sure I loved it as much as the judges said. It does look good, but I think there could have been a better, more elevated way to show this sort of thing. So I think I would personally have to give it a just okay. Maybe I'm just being harsh though, because you did not agree, because you said 61.9% for yay, 23% for just okay, and then 15% for nay. After that, we had Chai Tea Grande representing London via Bangkok. I did enjoy this outfit. We have seen it quite a few times on Drag Race, in terms of flags representing colors, of their heritage. That part I really enjoyed. I think the way she incorporated the Thai colors and the UK colors, I do really enjoy that. But we have seen that sort of thing a few times on Drag Race. But I did really enjoy it. I really liked the metal sculptural elements on her shoulder and her head. That to me was the best part of it. So I would give it probably a yay, but a yay towards the just okay side. Again, maybe I'm just being harsh because you said 63.7% for yay, so I will agree, I would have given it a yay overall, 21.2% for just okay, and then 15% for nay. After that, we had Viola representing Coventry. So I did not know that Coventry was famous for ribbons. One of my best friends is actually from Coventry, and I never saw any ribbons when I was there visiting. So who says that TV is not educational?
You're dumb.
I really enjoyed the look though, and the fact that she made this on a loom is just incredible. I really loved the different colors. She said this is the colors of Coventry. It just looked really well made, really interesting pattern design. So I definitely would give this a yay. And you agreed because you said 61.1% for yay, 26.5% for just okay, and then 12.4% for nay. After that, we had Sally TM representing South Shields. Now, I'll be honest, I have never been to Newcastle or that kind of area of the UK before. I know where it is, but I've just never been. But she said she was representing the Tyne and Wear Metro, which is an overground and underground metro system, like a train or a bit almost like a subway. So I didn't get that reference because I personally don't think I'd ever heard of it. But when I looked up pictures of it, I could sort of see the inspiration behind it. And it is something a little bit different. The outfit itself is cool. I do think we've seen outfits like this done quite a few times on Drag Race, and maybe we've seen them done a teeny bit better, but it looks well made. So I think I would give it a just okay, maybe a yay, but only just a yay. But it looks like maybe you agreed because you said 50.4% for yay, 34.5% for just okay, and then 15% for nay. After that, we had Pasty representing Cornwall. I do know what the Eden Project is. I've never been, but I know what it is. And it's these big domes, and they've created, I guess, their own biome, and there's like gardens and different microclimates and systems inside it with all these different plants and things. And it was quite a big deal when it first opened. And it's been going for a long time now. I did get the reference. I don't think this was necessarily the most elevated and successful way you could have done it, but I definitely saw what she was trying to do, and I would have got it even if she hadn't said what it is. But I do think maybe some of the finishing touches could have been a little bit better, so I'll give this a just okay. I think just a just okay. You were a bit harsher than me though, because you said 54.9% for nay, so the majority of nay, 31.9 for just okay, and then 13.3 for yay. After that was Tayris Mongardi representing Brighton. So I know she said there was an aquarium and there's not really a reason, but she just chose a pufferfish because they're interesting and fierce. To me, although this is a nice outfit and it does look, I guess, a bit like a pufferfish, although I will agree that I also thought it was a dinosaur at first, I do think it was just so random and doesn't have that much to do with Brighton that, I don't know, just a bit of a weird choice to me, because it really doesn't have anything to do with Brighton other than that it's an animal that's in an aquarium in that city. But then I feel like that opens the door to many different things. So it's a nice look, but I'm not sure it quite meets the brief because it doesn't tell me personally anything about Brighton. So I think I would have to give it a just okay because I don't think it quite met the brief. It looks like you agreed because you said 52.2% for just okay, 25.7% for nay, and then not that far behind was yay with 22.1%. After that, we had Elle Vosk representing Belfast. So I have looked up the Titanic Museum because she was doing the Titanic Museum, not the Titanic itself, because I think some people in the comments thought that she was supposed to be the Titanic. It is an interesting building, and I can sort of see the resemblance. To me, I personally did not like this outfit, so I was a little bit surprised the judges later on said that they thought this was really good. I really just didn't like this. I don't think it quite was elevated enough. It kind of looked to me a little bit like a design challenge look. Maybe it was more difficult to make than I realized, but it just was personally not to my taste. I think I would have to give it maybe a yay because it was the one that I probably liked the least. But I do think that her makeup and hair was really nice. In terms of the Have Your Say poll, it looks like you were very split, and it was almost a third split because you said 38.3% for nay, 31.9%, so almost 32% for yay, and then 29.2% for just okay. Then penultimately, we had Bonnie and Clyde representing Dublin. This was clearly very on the nose because it's, Ireland, St. Patrick, green, snakes. It hits every single sort of point about Ireland that people think about, but I feel like that's actually quite what you kind of need to do in things like Drag Race because it's very much people can instantly go, oh, okay, I know what she's doing. It was very much giving kind of Archbishop of Slaytown, it was very much that. I really liked the colors. It was very well made. I really like that shade of green. Green is one of those colors, you can ask Michelle. Green is one of those colors that can look really cheap and nasty, but I really like this shade of green. So overall, I would definitely give it a yay. And then in the terms of the Have Your Say poll, you were very split. So yay said 42.5%, but then just okay was not that far behind with 41.6%, which surprised me. I really liked this. And then 15.9% of you voted for nay. And then finally, we had Select's Addiction representing Yorkshire. So she mentioned Yorkshire pudding, which is very much a British thing. It's not a pudding in the traditional sense. It's actually a savory thing. It's basically like a crispy batter that you cook, almost like the consistency of pancake batter, but imagine if you cook it and it's in a shell sort of shape and it's crispy, and you pour gravy and other things in it, so it's a savory thing. Very tasty. I don't think she really looked like a Yorkshire pudding, though. She afterwards talked about gravy, so that is more what I was getting from it because of the drips, and also the color was very dark like gravy. Gravy in the UK is more like a meat sauce, so it's very dark. It's not like gravy in America, which like biscuits and gravy. That's very different. Biscuits and gravy in the UK, if you said that, that would mean cookies and meat sauce. So very much two different things. But I really did enjoy the look. It wasn't giving Yorkshire pudding to me, but I did really enjoy it, and I loved the colors. I loved the way it fit. I obviously like the big tit old biddies at the front. So yeah, I would give this a yay, but it maybe could have been a little bit more Yorkshire pudding-ish. And in terms of the Have Your Say poll, you voted 37.2% for yay, 42.5% for just okay, and 20.4% for nay. Okay, so we move on and we find out the tops and bottoms for this week. And of the 3 tops, we find out the winner is El Vosk. I asked in the Have Your Say poll, do you agree with the winner? And you said 68.1% for no and 31.9% for yes. And then of the people that voted no, I said, who do you think should have won instead? And you voted 36.4% for page 3 and 22.1% for Bones, with Pasty coming in third with 9.1. So we then find out that from the bottom 3, Tayris Mongardi is safe, so the bottom 2 are Nyan Bella and Pasty. And I asked you in the Have Your Say poll, do you agree with the bottom 2? And you were almost 50-50 split on this, so it was 54% for yes, and then 46% for no. I then asked you, if you voted no before, who do you think the bottom 2 should have been? And I made you select 2 names. And of those names, Tayris came out on top with 53.8% and then Pasty with 40.4%. So it looks like you thought the bottom 2 should have been Tayris and Pasty. Pasty and Nyan Bella then lip-synced the song Fond Dutch by Charlie XCX. And Nyan Bella is announced as the winner of the lip sync and is therefore safe. I asked you in the Have Your Say poll, and I did mess up a little bit on this.
Let me ask you a very fair question. What do you do successfully? Quickly.
I said, who won the lip sync in your opinion? I originally accidentally put Tayris's name instead of Pasty, so ignore the Tayris part, but Nyan Bella came out on top with 61.1%, so over half, and then Pasty, when you combine the two, would have got about 38-ish%. We also found out earlier that they were doing this thing called the Lucky Cow, which is similar a little bit like the Golden Beaver, I think it was called, on Canada's Drag Race. And it's basically where the bottom 3 queens, the other queens have to vote for who of the bottom 3 should be saved. Now, I will get onto this later, but this did feel, although I do like a good twist, it did feel a little bit like convenient that RuPaul's leaving it until after the lip sync to announce who won. But I think it's kind of something a bit interesting. But we find out that the queens actually voted for Pasty the most. So even though Pasty lost the lip sync, she got saved because of the Lucky Cow. I asked you in the Have Your Say poll, who would you have voted as the Lucky Cow, as in which of the bottom 3 queen deserved to be saved the most? And it was actually very split. It was almost a third each. So Pasty did actually get the most with 37.2%, but Nyan Bella was not that far behind with 36.3%, and then Tayris got 26.5%. And so that means that no one actually got eliminated this week, which I actually think is fair because it is the first week, so it is kind of harsh to eliminate someone. So personally, I was not mad. And then finally, question 8 was, from what we've seen so far, which queen is your favorite? And the queen that came out on top was Bones with 22.1%. Then it was Sally TM with 18.6%. And not that far behind was Page 3 with 17.7%. Okay, so moving on to the comments for this week, starting with my Patreon comments. My Patreon Deb said, I was pleased by the cow twist. I thought it was going to be a version of the Golden Beaver, but I liked the group voting part of it. This season will have a big social game part to it now. Looking forward to it, which is a very good point about the social element, that it's a little bit like on All Stars where you have to think the queens are picking the lipstick, so you've got to be careful who you sort of align yourself with and who you annoy. So I do think that's an interesting twist. But my Patreon Riot brought up a point that I think a lot of people said, who said, I wish they saved the girl before the lip sync because it seems more interesting. Pasty falling apart during the lip sync was so unfortunate because I felt she was performing better. Nyan Bella had such a strong entrance look, but the other 2 looks were leaving much to be desired. And then moving on to the comments from the actual Have Your Say poll. And as I mentioned earlier, quite a few comments from people saying things like the twist announcing the Lucky Cow after the lip sync result is lazy and a transparent way for production to retain control. But let me know in the comments what you think. Do you think the Lucky Cow is a way for production to rig it? Or do you think that they're doing it after the lip sync to try and build it up a bit more, and you think it is genuinely a vote and they're not rigging it? Okay, so now we're going to move on to a little bit of recent drama to do with Shea Coulee calling out Plain Jane. As some of you will know, Shea was recently involved in a little bit of drama to do with her drag daughters disowning her, and I did do a video about this which I'll link to in the description. However, just as a quick summary, a few weeks ago, 3 of Shea Coulee's drag daughters all dropped the Coulee part of their name at the same time and left Shea's house. They all then subsequently posted some cryptic things on social media about it. Although none of them said Shea's name specifically, it was obvious that they were talking about her. They accused Shea of being narcissistic, a liar, and that she didn't support them. Shea didn't really respond to the drama directly, but she did post a few vague things which were sort of addressing it. However, it then appears that Plain Jane got involved and Shea called her out. Not long after this drama with Shea and her former drag daughters happened, Plain Jane posted a TikTok/Instagram reel video which was making a joke about it, and it had the caption saying, "POV, you're on the wait list to be Shea Coulee's new daughter."
I texted Melissa and
You didn't text me.
Holly.
And I'm the only one that really counts, Jill.
Plain also said in the caption that she was changing her name to Plain Coulee. After Plain posted the video, a few queens in the comments were joking about it, including Corey King, who apparently fed Plain that audio. However, it appears that Shea was not happy that Plain had posted that video, and presumably Shea did not know that Plain was going to use this footage with that caption. Because very soon after Plain posted the video, Shea commented on it on Instagram saying, "Okay, can you please take this down? This is not what I thought it was going to be. I already DM'd you, but this ain't cute, girl." Plain then removed the video shortly afterwards, but the video, as well as Shea's comment, were all shared over social media. Many people felt like Shea was taking it too seriously, although other people did defend Shea and said if she was really not aware that Plain was going to use this video to make a joke about the drama, then she was well within her rights to be annoyed about it. However, so far, neither Shea nor Plain have posted any more about it, so that seems to be the end of the drama for the time being. Now we're going to move on to an update regarding the ongoing drama to do with Lexi Love and the trademark issue with her name. If you've watched my previous videos, you'll know that a while back, another person named Selena Scola said that she owned the trademark for the name Lexi Love. She has since filed multiple trademark infringement notices against Drag Race Lexi, and she's had many of her social media accounts as well as other accounts taken down, and Lexi has also lost several bookings because of this as well. If you're curious about what has happened so far up till now, I'll link to the videos I've done about this topic in the description. Well, just to give an update on where the situation is now, Selena has continued to say that Drag Race Lexi is infringing her copyright by using the name Lexi Love and has taken down many of Lexi's accounts. On Instagram, Lexi changed her name to Cody Barnes, which is her dead name because it's her legal name, so it's the only name she could use without issue. Lexi also suggested that she might change her drag name. In early September, Lexi's Instagram was even suspended. She posted several stories showing screenshots of the suspension notice, which said the reason for the suspension was due to Selena filing trademark infringements. Lexi then made a plea in her Instagram story, asking if anyone worked at Instagram could help her. Lexi's account was then seemingly restored, but she changed her name from Lexi Love to Lexi from Drag Race. She also linked to a backup account with the @Miss Lexi Backup and encouraged people to go and follow her on that account in case her main account got suspended indefinitely. However, as of right now, Lexi's Instagram account is still active from what I can see. However, as I said, it now says Lexi from Drag Race as well as Cody Barnes rather than Lexi Love. She also posted on Facebook thanking everyone because, quote, the doll is back, and she posted a screenshot on Instagram as well. There have also been a few other developments since then too. A few weeks ago, Lexi posted saying that she had been removed from the Honolulu Pride event due to the trademark issues from the quote other Lexi, and this is not the first time that Lexi has lost gigs because of this trademark issue. Lexi then posted a GoFundMe link titled Protect a Doll supporting Lexi's legal battle. As of right now, the GoFundMe has reached just over $25,000, which is 64% towards the $40,000 goal. And if you are interested in supporting Lexi, I'll link to her GoFundMe in the description. But so far, that appears to be all of the updates I can see for the time being, so we'll have to wait and see if Lexi continues to have these issues and how it's going to develop going forward. And finally, I'm going to move on to some light tea to do with Pixie Polite responding to the comment that Tayris Mongardi said about her in this week's episode. As some of you may have clocked during this week's episode, Tayris was talking about queens from Brighton and how they had previously not done that well on the show, and then she joked that Pixie was, quote, not likeable.
What about Brighton? I don't know much about Brighton.
I mean, honestly, according to Drag Race, it's you know what I mean? Like, Joe was first out, Anubis was first out, Pixie was not likeable.
After the episode came out, Pixie responded to this by posting a long Instagram story. I won't read the whole thing, but as a summary, Pixie said her response may come across as sensitive, and it may have just been a shady comment by Tayris to make an impression on the first episode. But the reason Pixie's responding to being called not likable by Tayris is because after Pixie's season, she felt, quote, traumatized by her time on Drag Race because of the, quote, overwhelmingly negative and cruel reaction I had from the fandom. She revealed that she considered taking her own life because of this, and it still triggers a PTSD response in her, and she's also neurodivergent. So Pixie thought that Tayris would know what it's like being in the public eye, and it's not necessary to perpetuate toxicity. However, she did end her post by saying, although she wishes Tayris had reached out to her about it before, she doesn't hold a grudge against Tayris, and told everyone to go and support her as well as the other queens. Pixie also subsequently posted saying that she had released merch such as t-shirts with her face on it which say unlikable. As far as I can see, neither Pixie nor Tayris have posted any further about this situation, so that appears to be the end of it. However, as I always say, please do not get involved in any kind of drama or send hate to the queens. It can have a very negative impact on them, so please just consume this type of content passively and always remember to be respectful. So there you go, there was the Have Your Say video for RuPaul's Drag Race UK Season 7 Episode 1. What did you think of the premiere episode? And what challenge are you most looking forward to for the rest of the season? Let me know in the comments. I'd just like to say thank you so much to my amazing Patreon members. You are all so incredible. Thank you so much for your ongoing support. Even during this time when there hasn't been any major season on for a while, having the Patreon really was a massive help to me in my channel because it really helps me stay afloat during these off periods. So thank you all so much. And if you'd like to get early access to my videos, exclusive content, extended versions of my videos, access to the Patreon exclusive chat, as well as many other benefits, please consider joining my Patreon, and I'll leave a link to that in the description. Make sure you like and comment on this video because it only takes a few seconds, but it does actually make a massive difference to the algorithm promoting this video to more people. And of course, make sure you smash that subscribe button with every ounce of your being because I really would love to get to 150,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you'll join me in future for some more Drag Race gossip, secrets, and drama. Thank you so much. Bye.